Hi guys, and welcome to part 5 of our series called Your Faith Matters, the last part, and I'm so honored to bring this series to a close. And my name is Tian, for those of you who don't know, and this is very interesting. I'm going to talk about something that I'm personally, on a physical level, not all too familiar with, because I'm not actually a runner. I like to do many other things, but running is not something that is deeply ingrained in me. But I know there's a lot of you that do run, and I do like watching running. And so this picture is something that you might be familiar with. This is Yvonne Ngetic, and she's on the ground due to a phenomenon that often happens when running a marathon. You see, a marathon is 42 kilometers, and round about the 32 kilometers mark, which means from about the last stretch, within the last 10 kilometers, a lot of runners hit what they call the wall. It's a psychological event that happens where you just feel like you can't go any further. Now, what actually happens in that moment is that your brain is getting a signal from your body. Your body has run out of glycogen, which is the fuel that your body is burning for high-intensity athletic performance. And it's run out of that, and what happens is your body is now switching over to burning fat reserves. But what happens physically, it feels like you've hit a wall. It feels like all of a sudden everything's come to a halt, everything's cramping, everything's sore, you've lost your pace, and all of a sudden you are receiving this information to your brain saying, I can't go further. That's what happened to Yvonne Ngetic in that moment. Is she's nearing the end of the race, and all of a sudden, going so well, going so strong, and all of a sudden, poof, it seems to be all over. And for a lot of us, that's how we feel, isn't it? When it comes to faith. Oftentimes, we feel like quitting. We feel like quitting on faith. We feel like quitting on life itself, and things just get too much, and it feels like, I can't do this anymore. It's too much. It asks too much. I am overwhelmed. I am anxious. And so we're going to read through Hebrews 12, verse 1 to 3 today. And hopefully today you are going to realize and see something, that what happens when we hit the wall spiritually, when we hit the wall in faith, there is actually a way for us to navigate that. Because faith, remember what we said, everyone has got faith. Everyone's got a faith journey. It depends not on the faith, it depends on who the faith is relying on. And when we sing in church and when we proclaim that God is faithful, we also proclaim that He's worthy for us to put His faith in. So that means that even when we hit a wall, it doesn't mean it's the end. It doesn't mean we throw out the baby with the bathwater. It just means that we need to change. There's a gear shift. Something needs to happen from our side that helps us push through that. Because remember, a wall, hitting the wall, remember what I said, it's a psychological event. You're receiving signals from your body. But as we also know, and those of you who've been through extensive training knows that your body is too capable of far more than what it's led to believe. And so a lot of times this is a mindset issue. And so what we do in faith when we struggle, what do? We go to the source of truth, God Himself. And that's why we read the Word. And that's why Hebrews 12 is so important, because it gives us a map. It gives us something to fall back on when we hit the wall. And this is what Hebrews 12 verse 1 says. Firstly, therefore, so you can almost say, when you've hit the wall, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses. These are people, those cloud of witnesses, these are people who by faith have testified to God's truth and absolute faithfulness. You see, picture a stadium. Picture a lot of people, that cheering you on. Yes, you've hit the wall, but they're cheering you on. But here's the kicker. It's not just any people. These aren't people who bought a ticket to the race to come and watch. The people that you are surrounded by are those that have walked that faith, that have hit the wall in faith, just as you have. That have felt like they can't keep going on. They can't keep, there doesn't not in them to go on. Maybe you've heard this a lot of times. A lot of times we'll say the phrase, God won't give you more than you can handle. You see, I'm not sure I'm totally on board with that phrase, because I believe when it comes to faith, I believe God often gives you more than you can handle. Why? Because it shifts your perspective to realize that you can't do it. It's not in your ability, if you're relying on you and your faith is in you, to do it. So these impossible situations force you to shift your faith onto the one who can. And so, when you are surrounded by witnesses, and this is, yes, those that have walked before us, the giants of faith that Dirk has alluded to last week, but it also refers to the people in your community who you are connected with, your faith community. There are people there that have walked the road, that have hit the wall many times, and that can pick you up, that can tell you, that can encourage you to show that you are not alone. Yes, this is your race, but you are not alone. And as we continue to read, we get to this part. Let us run with endurance and active persistence the race that is before us. And here's the kicker. Focusing our eyes on Jesus, who is the author and perfecter of our faith. See, this is the second point. Yes, you are surrounded by witnesses, but the second point is, who are you fixing your eyes on? You see, because life distracts. You've hit the wall. What is your focus on? Oh, my joints, the cramps, the distance that I still need to go. All of these things are information. When you're living in life, you are distracted by stuff like politics, by disappointment, by church hurts, by relationships, and our past failures. But runners, you see, they don't look sideways. They look at the end. They're focused solely on the next step, focusing on what is in front of them. And for us as believers, for us who are carriers of faith, our eyes are called to be fixed on Jesus. That means it's like Paul when he was walking on water. He was walking on water. Do you realize that? Paul. And all of a sudden what happens? When he's taken that faith step, and all of a sudden he starts to look around, what happens? He starts to sink. He starts to hit the wall. He starts to doubt. You see, faith means fixing your eyes on Jesus, whether it is in professionally, whether it is in relationships, whether it is in your own ambitions and desires. It's all about fixing your eyes on Jesus, because that makes all the difference, because that gives you perspective on the situation that you are in. And then the third point, faith is a movement. You see, what do people do? What do the runners do that hit the wall? The best thing for them to do, because remember, this is psychologically. What is the best thing for them to do? What do? They step forward, one foot after the other, and persevere. Remember what it said. It says, let us run with endurance and active persistence the race that's before us. That means carrying on. That means you can't just believe. A runner can't just believe that they can run the race. Yes, belief is important. Yes, I can believe in Jesus. I can have faith in Jesus. But faith doesn't mean believing. It doesn't mean just merely believing that I can, believing that it can be done. It means putting one foot in front of the other. It means putting your foot in the footsteps of Jesus and actively moving. You see, faith isn't static, it's a forward motion. It means living differently. It means when you hit the wall, it means you need to press in to move, for your faith to actively move. What do we do when we hit the wall? We subtract, we feel sorry for ourselves, we subtract and we disengage. And the invitation to you when you hit that moment of difficulty in faith, those times when you're asking the questions, is to persevere, is to continue moving forward, even though you don't have the answers, even though it's tough, even though you don't know how you can do it. That means forgiving. It means being generous in the face of adversity. It means serving. Jesus showed us serving is the best cure for the selfish human nature inside of us. It means having hope when there's no hope. So the question I have for you guys, that whether you're watching alone or whether you're in group, What is one faith step that you can take this week? What is that faith step that you can take as your next step, even though it's tough, even though it's hard? It's going to cause you to rely on Jesus and not on yourself, because sometimes God gives you things that you can't handle when your faith is put in you. And see what happens. And maybe as a follow-up question to that, what is some things that what is distraction, stuff that you are on the periphery that have stolen your focus from faith in God, and that needs to go? And what is something that you need to do to actively force yourself to be fixed on Jesus, to place your faith back on God? I know this is tough, but I believe faith is absolutely action. It moves. You see, faith doesn't promise ease. And that's the lie that the world has told us. Is when you have faith, it's just going to be easy. No, faith does not promise ease. But what it does promise, it promises purpose. So have a great time wherever you are in your groups. Work with us. But be honest with one another. And if you need to have someone help hold you accountable, have people around you to uplift you when the times get tough.